All right, let's talk sales. If your team is completely bogged down by admin work and they're chasing leads that go nowhere, well, this one's for you. We're going to break down how to deploy two super high-impact AI tools. We're talking lead scoring and call summarization, and do it in under a month. Let's jump in.
So, the big question is, are you actually ready to deploy AI? I mean, for real. Because this isn't some high-level theory. Nope. This is a practical, 7-step plan to get two of the most powerful sales AI tools, lead scoring and call summarization, up and running in less than 4 weeks. We're giving you the literal blueprint.
Okay, let's get right to the heart of the problem. Sales productivity, it really has two huge enemies. On one side, you've got your team burning precious hours chasing the wrong leads. And on the other, they're just drowning in admin. All the stuff that keeps them from what they're actually good at, selling. Well, AI is designed to attack both of these problems head-on.
And this right here, this visual shows you exactly what that shift looks like. You see, before AI, most of a sales rep's time just gets eaten alive by admin tasks and chasing those low-probability leads. But with AI, that whole equation just flips. Suddenly, your team is spending the vast majority of their day on the high-probability deals, the ones that actually close.
So what exactly are these magical tools? How do they work? Let's take a quick look under the hood at how AI lead scoring and call summarization really make that incredible shift happen. Okay, so first up, you've got AI lead scoring. It's pretty amazing. It looks at everything, behavioral signals, company info, past deals, to give every single lead a score, a probability of conversion. It even spots those little intense signals, like when a prospect keeps coming back to the pricing page. That tells your reps exactly when to reach out. And then there's call summarization. This one's a game changer. It automatically transcribes and summarizes every single sales call, pulling out the key topics, objections, and what the next steps are. The rep literally just hangs up the phone and moves on to the next one. No more typing up notes.
Right. But before you can just flip a switch and hit go, you've got to get your house in order. And believe me, this pre-deployment checklist is absolutely crucial. Let's break down what you need for each tool.
For lead scoring, there are a few key things you just gotta have. First, you need at least a year's worth of your deal data, and that means both the wins and the losses. You also need your ideal customer profile actually written down, plus a clear score threshold for when a lead gets handed off to sales. But this last point, this one is completely non-negotiable. Sales and marketing must agree on the scoring criteria, because if your sales team doesn't trust the score, guess what? They just won't use it, plain and simple. Now, for call summarization, things are a little bit simpler. First, obviously, you need a way to record your calls. You also need to define a summary template. What has to be in every summary, like next steps, commitments, that kind of thing. Then you need a process to get that summary into your CRM, whether that's an automatic integration or a manual step. And finally, you have to brief your reps on how to do a quick review and correct any little mistakes the AI makes. Okay, so with all that prep work done, we can move on to the real heart of this explainer, the 7-step deployment plan. This is your week-by-week blueprint to get these tools live and making an impact. All right, let's walk through this plan step by step. Week 1 is all about your data. You're going to export and clean up that 12-month deal data set. This is the foundation for everything. Then in week 2, you'll actually configure the scoring model with your ICP and all that historical data, and you'll set that sales-ready threshold. Week 3 is all about the people and the other tool. You'll set up the call summary tool and brief your reps on how to use both new systems. Then in week 4, you go live. But listen, the work isn't done. That final step is so important. You have to review the accuracy and quality at 30 days and again at 60 days. This is how you fine-tune the whole system and make sure it's actually working the way it should.
So you're live. Awesome. But how do you keep this whole thing on track for the long term? Well, it really comes down to two things: having some good governance in place and avoiding a few really common critical mistakes.
Let's make this super simple. On the must-do list, there are 3 things. 1. A human being needs to review every single AI summary before it goes into the CRM. 2. You have to review your scoring model every single month against your actual deal outcomes. And 3. You absolutely have to get customer consent and compliance right for call recording. Now for the don'ts. Do not deploy without sales and marketing being perfectly aligned. Do not skip your 30 and 60-day reviews. And please, never activate call recording without clearing it with your legal team first. One side makes you productive, the other can make you liable. It's that serious. Okay, so let's talk about the payoff. I mean, if you follow this plan, what are the real, measurable results you can expect to see in the first 90 days? First off, you should be seeing your high-scoring leads convert at twice the rate of your low-scoring leads, maybe even more. If that's not happening, it's a huge red flag that your model isn't working right, and it's time to go back and recalibrate.
And check this out. This really shows the impact on your day-to-day process. You should see over 90% of your calls logged accurately in the CRM within just 2 hours. Think about that. It means your CRM finally becomes what it was always supposed to be, a real-time, accurate picture of your pipeline.
And finally, the ultimate metric, time. We're talking about giving back over 60 minutes to every single one of your reps every single day. That is an entire hour of painful admin work that now becomes an hour of actual selling. That is the real ROI. So, as we wrap this up, I want you to remember this one thing. The success of these tools, it's not really about the fancy AI. It's about the discipline you bring to the process. It's about having clean data, making sure your team is properly briefed, and having that monthly calibration to keep the model honest. You see, the AI is just the engine. Your process, that's the fuel. And if you get that right, the impact is going to start compounding from day one.